MJF double-crossed all of us at home included. He didn't want the inner circle. He started his whole new faction, and we're going to talk about it on today's episode. So stay tuned. This is Elite Maniac Podcast. What's up, people? Welcome back to Elite Maniac Podcast, where we discuss all things AEW. I'm Mekz. I'm here with my co-host, Mike. WrestleManiac UK here. Kings Road Wrestling. We do this thing, and what an episode of Dynamite. Fresh out of Revolution, which was a really good pay-per-view. We had some big angles kind of take place. Kind of like a reset episode, you know, going into what is the next big pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, in a couple months' time. So yeah, we're going to get into all the action, everything that happened, as we do here on Elite Maniac Podcast. But before we do, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and for all our audio listeners, please make sure you subscribe and follow us on your podcast platform of choice. Leave us a 5-star review as well. Mike, I know you probably still got some hangover from going to Revolution. How was that, and how are you doing today?
It was pretty surreal, pretty crazy to be there in person. I just can't believe I finally got to Daly's place after 2 years of watching the show. But I'm pumped, as you said, a little bit of a hangover with Revolution in this new episode. A lot of new storylines, a lot of new developments. So we're going to get into all of that, and I hope you guys enjoy our review of the show.
Yeah, 100%. So, as I say, without further ado, we might as well jump straight in. And the show started with an absolute banger in Matt Jackson versus Rey Fenix. Tell us about this match.
Yeah, Matt Jackson and Rey Fenix, one of Matt's first single competitions in, I think, 1,600 days. He's been just usually tagging with his brother. That's what they mentioned. But this was pretty crazy. Two went back and forth with a lot of just ridiculous moves. They were just throwing everything out but the kitchen sink. We saw, springboard sentons from Matt, flatliners, power bombs, hook kicks. Phoenix did the tightrope walk as always, and hit that Os cutter. Absolutely ridiculous. Matt hit 2 Canadian destroyers on Phoenix, and I thought that would put him away, but that wasn't quite the case. Phoenix was not ready to end his little match with Matt Jackson yet, because at the end of the match, when we thought Matt Jackson was going to pull away from it, he hit a time bomb pile driver out of absolutely nowhere, and that killed Matt Jackson. Like, it looked like it dropped him on his head. I don't know if you saw that exact angle, but it was a harsh pile driver. And that just put him away. So Rey Fenix picked up the victory in this match, and I think that sets up, kind of a potential future with the tag team champions and Death Triangle.
Yeah. Their match is next week, right, for the tag championships.
Is it next week?
I think they said that at Revolution, that in 2 weeks' time it will be Pac and Phoenix. Obviously, they won the Battle Royal versus Young Bucks. I'm pretty sure it's next week. But yeah, what a match. Like, what a match. Every time, I feel like in recent times, I'm arguing a lot to defend how good Rey Fenix is. Like, he is so good. And even Matt Jackson, we know how good he is in a double act in a tag team with his brother. But yeah, this was different level. And then obviously we had the 2 guys from either side on the outside, Nick Jackson and Pac as well. Great start to the match. I just love these high energy starts to the show because it gets you in the mood.
It really gets you in the mood.
The rest, yeah, like they that's one thing that AEW do so well. Like, they will literally start the match. They won't even waste time with entrances sometimes. When the broadcast starts, guys are in the ring ready to go. Like, and, I really find it an effective way to start a show.
Yeah, you sit down, you kind of get your little setup going in front of the television. You might not be ready, and then all of a sudden, Matt Jackson and Rey Fenix are flipping over the rope, super kicking each other, hitting each other with pile drivers, and you're just kind of like, oh, I got to get focused. So, you know, AEW starts fast, dude, and you got to be ready because it's
100%.
nuts. I also think towards the end, we saw some super kicks. We saw Matt hit Pac with one, and then Phoenix hit Nick Jackson. So, you know, the feud between these two is going to build up. Kind of interesting that it's Pac and Phoenix together, right? Or did we kind of expect that?
It looks like they've taken the tag reigns, although I don't think they're going to win the tag belts. I think for now it looks like they've taken the tag reigns. Obviously, we saw later on in the night what Penta's going to be involved in, which is something spicy as well, something I'm looking forward to. But yeah, just a great way to start the show. We got a comment here from NK. NK, thanks for joining us. NK says Ray Phoenix is different class. I mean, NK knows how much battling that me and him do to put Ray Phoenix over. We're in a group chat, and you know the consensus is generally Rey Mysterio over Ray Phoenix, and obviously Rey Mysterio is the greatest mask of all time. No one's saying that, but in-ring ability, Ray Phoenix is gotta be, man.
Yeah, Mysterio's got a great character, and he's a legend. So, you know, a lot of respect to him. But Phoenix, he just pulls out some stuff that I've never seen before. So I got to go with him on that one. You know, quick note towards the end of this, and we'll move on to the next one, is that SCU, Kazarian, and Daniels were watching from the stands, and it has been reported by Excalibur that after the Death Triangle Young Bucks tag team match, it'll be them challenging whoever wins that for the tag team belts. So, you know, we have 2 opportunities for a title change.
And of course, SCU are on their last legs, if you like. You know, they're saying when they lose, that's it, they're splitting. So very interesting to see, you know, what's going to happen there.
For sure. So great first match to open us up. We moved on to the segment, probably one of the segments of the night. I mean, the segments were crazy, so we can't pinpoint it down to just one. That was
one.
It's really good, but this is the one that everyone was looking forward to. It was Moxley and Eddie Kingston kind of explaining what happened at Revolution. And if you guys want to know a first-person perspective of what the explosion looked like in Daly's place, then go check out our episode from a few days ago that I recorded. Lay it all out for you guys. But
yeah, that's
everybody expected them to come together.
That's a great plug, Mike. Sorry, I just interrupted you there. Obviously, guys, if you don't know, Mike was there at Daly's place watching Revolution live. Obviously, when the madness of the non-explosion happened, Mike has a first-hand experience, and he's put it into a podcast, which is you can only listen to on our audio. So you get onto our podcast if you're not already on one of our podcast platforms. You know, your iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever, and that's where you can hear from a first-hand perspective what actually happened with the explosion that didn't go off. So yeah, I'll let you get back on it, Mike.
I mean, we won't harp on it too much, and you know, unfortunately we couldn't do a full review show because I am out of state right now, still in Florida, but that's still up there for you guys. But everybody wanted to hear what Moxley and Kingston had to say because it was a little awkward. You know, the explosion went off, it kind of was a dud, and he was just laying on top of Moxley, passed out for like 6-7 minutes, and everyone was just confused in the crowd. Eddie said what happened in this segment was that he had a panic attack. He said that, you know, back when he was in New York, he had a little bit of trouble with the law, and the cops, when he was in jail one time, were about to send him to Rikers Island, which is a very notorious prison in New York City. He passed out when that happened, blacked out, and didn't know what happened. He said that that's what happened during this whole exploding barbed wire death match. He got on top of Moxley, was so nervous, passed out. What do you think about this explanation? Did it kind of remedy what happened?
I think it would have helped. And again, I said this, I think it would have helped if Tony Khan didn't come out after the show and say, well, that explosion was meant to happen exactly like that. What do fans expect? Did you want a full-blown explosion, this, that, and the other? And that's what's kind of soured me on this whole thing. Eddie Kingston is one person that I think I was saying to someone during the week, at the beginning of the week after Revolution, if you kind of allow Eddie Kingston to explain what happened, you'll buy it. you'll buy it because
that's what you said. Yep.
Yeah, he's such a good promo. I like seeing Moxley and Kingston together. They are very good at what they do. It makes sense in terms of the explanation they gave, but of course we all know that it was just something that went wrong. So yeah,
I still appreciate it though, man.
Yeah, I appreciate the attempt. 100%. But we're not stupid. You see what I mean?
No, so, we're not dumb. We're not dumb.
Yeah, it is what it is. And I think, okay, it's happened. Unfortunately, it happened. We've all made fun of it. We've all showed anger towards it. They've given an explanation now. Let's move on.
Yeah, unfortunately, that did happen. I'm big on suspending belief to get into wrestling. I hate when people are like super analytical about every little thing. That just makes it not enjoyable. But, this kind of was past that threshold. Another funny thing that Moxley said was that he thinks that Impact probably bought the bomb. And that's because Gallows, Anderson, and Kenny kind of set it up with Callis, and, Impact doesn't have as much money as AEW.
Yeah.
But, takeaway from this is that Eddie's pissed off that he's getting mocked. Eddie's pissed off about what happened. Moxley's pissed off, and they are out for blood and revenge for the Good Brothers and Callis and Moxley. So something bad happened with the bomb not really going off, but a new door opened for a brand new feud with Eddie and Moxley, Good Brothers, Callis, and Kenny Omega. So I think that's a positive that came out of this whole thing.
Yeah, as we know, we're still probably going to see Moxley written off TV somehow. So they've basically got a second attempt at doing that, however they're going to do it. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, it's happened now. We're approaching a week when it's happened. Let's just move on.
Let's move on. Let's continue to be positive and just enjoy the show. And this show was so easy to enjoy. Yeah. We had kind of a squash match. And whenever you see the guy's name and then under it says in action, you just know that the match is going to be 2 minutes long. So you can kind of, sit back and just relax a little bit. So we had Cody Rhodes take on Seth Gargis, who apparently has been on AEW Dark, but I totally forgot about him. Did you recognize this guy?
I watch Dark sparingly, so I never.
You and Adrian don't really like the Dark.
Yeah.
I got to watch that for you guys, but they were like two Darks last week, and now we're getting another one on Monday, so a lot. Yeah. But this guy apparently has been on Dark. Didn't really have an entrance, was just in the ring. Cody had his big entrance with Arn Anderson. Really nice of Cody. He had his Nightmare Factory weight belt, and he gave it to a guy on the ring who was looked like he was in a wheelchair. That was really sweet of Cody. I always appreciate AEW and especially the Rhodes family for really taking charitable endeavors pretty seriously. So that was cool of Cody. But the match was simple. He hit an Oklahoma slam, and then he locked in a figure 4 leg lock and submitted him. So I don't really think that this whole thing was for the match. It was kind of for what happened after. And I know you really enjoyed this segment with Pentagon, right?
Yeah. So I didn't even know Penta is on the Spanish announce table. Hell, I didn't even know there was a Spanish announce table. I knew, they must be doing some type of different translation elsewhere, but of course we just watch our feed in English. So Penta, in his magnificent mask and his magnificent suit, comes strolling down the stairs. He grabs Alex, the other guy that I never knew he was a commentator. I just thought he was some type of Spanish correspondent. I never.
Yeah, me too.
2 and 2 together. He pulls Alex, and I don't even know who was better in this segment, Alex or him, because Penta's obviously having a go at Cody, and Alex is there translating. But what killed me with Alex is he was like Penta's. It's like he was a heel as well. He was like, when he's translating to Cody, he was like, oh, Penta said that this is gonna happen, and I was dying. I was, oh my god, I couldn't believe he wasn't, on the fence at all. He was fully in Penta's corner.
He loved it.
Penta said that he's gonna do this and that, and I found it hilarious. And then obviously Penta crossed the line where he said, I'm gonna give it to you guys in American, so you can understand. And he said to Cody, you know, if it was just 1-on-1 between him and Cody, that he would have beat him so bad, basically, that he can't pick up his newborn baby daughter when she comes. And Cody lost it. Cody jumped over the barricade, tried to attack Penta. Everyone, you know, we got a bit of a pull away brawl there. Really good segment. I'm looking forward to Penta versus Cody. We're getting a match next week, so I don't know if this is going to be an elongated feud or anything like that. But yeah, Penta was brilliant. He looked brilliant. Alex made me laugh so much with how he was delivering the message. Yeah, man, this is big stuff, especially, you know, being put in the ring with Cody. Whether you think Cody's a brilliant wrestler or not, like, it's a big deal. So,
for sure.
This comes to something good for Penta.
Do you guys in England play Simon Says?
Yeah, people do. Yeah,
that's what it sounded like. Penta says, Simon says. Exactly what you're saying. Yeah. So he did speak in English a little bit, but Alex Abrahentes was the one who translated it, and he loved it. He was like, "You won't even pick up your new baby." And then Cody went nuts. So we're going to talk about the card.
Jokes. His delivery killed me.
Yep. And we're going to talk about the card for next week in a little bit. But yeah, so this whole thing sets up a match for them. And I hope that it is as good as we think it's going to be.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. We quickly went to a little bit of a segment with Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy of the Best Friends. They were in an arcade. Orange Cassidy kind of out of it. Chuck made a deal. He said they should have beat them at Revolution. They lost them at Revolution, Miro and Kip Sabian. He said if they get one more match, one more chance to win, he will put on the line him being a servant to Miro for 1 year. And the type of match that they're going to have is an arcade death match.
Just give it a rest. I can't believe
I knew it. I was writing this down and I was like, he's going to hate this. He's absolutely going to hate
like, this. Why is this going on? Like, still, are you kidding me? Like, Miro put them to the sword at Revolution. Really good match. I'll give them that. At Revolution, I thought they put on a really good match.
Good showing.
It was really what Miro needed to do to get his heat back. You know, a very strong performance. And now we're back here again. One more match. So what happens now? Charles and Cassidy win, and then make Miro look silly or Kip Sabian look silly. Like, oh, please.
This is a kind of a corner booking, and I know right before we went on live, you just said that this show was kind of like a reset of everything before Revolution, new feuds, new character development. But why are we still going back to stuff before? It just everything on the show last night was new, fresh. But this wasn't, so it was a little bit weird. I mean, I'm interested to see what kind of match that I think they had, props to AEW for trying something new. I know like a lot of people like the arcade thing, but like this could be pretty violent. I mean, that's the only plus side I see to this. Yeah,
the match could be good. And like I said, the Revolution match was for everything this feud wasn't, the Revolution match was. But this is, and I hate to compare, this is very WWE. You think a feud has finished, especially at a pay-per-view, and then the next night on Raw or whatever, SmackDown, they'll come and repeat a match from the pay-per-view when you thought the feud was done.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't. I'm sure the match will be decent, but let's move on.
Let's move on. We'll see what happens. I don't know. That's all I have to say. I'm willing to give it a shot, but a little bit annoying. So let us know what you think of this. We had a little bit of a Sting promo with Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone had a pretty good quote. When Sting came out, he said if there was any question that Sting could go or his ability before the street fight, it's all been answered and put to rest now. We can touch on this for a second, but that cinematic match was excellent at Revolution. Really cool.
I think it was the most entertaining match on the night. Obviously, the death match was very good before what didn't happen happened. But I think this Sting match, I think just because I think a lot of us were a bit down on the feud going into it. Obviously, there's the anticipation of seeing what they're going to do. It turned out it was a cinematic match and not a live match in the stadium. It was just brilliantly put together. Darby Allin obviously had a big hand in the production of it.
So cool.
Excellent stuff. Like, so good.
Yeah. One thing about the cinematic match, and cinematic matches in general that AEW does is, I believe, the last two, the Elite Deletion with Sammy and Matt, and this one, the Street Fight, they had an actual ring in the whole production of it. So you have those cinematic spots and everything, but you also have in-ring action. So it's pretty cool. You kind of get the best of both worlds. And this was an excellent match. Like you said, at the Street Fight. Thank God he pinned Ricky instead of Brian Cage. I really wanted Team Taz to do well, but Cage can't take any more pins. So thank God Ricky, I
think Team Taz put on a very good performance, and they weren't on Dynamite this past week. But for me, it was a good loss, if that makes sense.
It was a good loss.
They didn't look like chumps. So,
no.
Yeah.
They were badass. But Sting came out. He said Darby's dangerous. Darby takes high risks with very big potential for injury, but he just doesn't care. And he said when you combine that ability with the Stinger, with the Icon, you get wins. And that is true. That's exactly what happened. So awesome little quote from Sting over there. But Lance Archer and Jake Roberts interrupted Sting, said that they were reclaiming their time and that they are deserving of the spotlight and an interview. Lance said he never needed the ladder match to prove he's the face of the Revolution. Lance killed it. I said this in the podcast before, so go check that out, guys. But absolutely performance probably of the night in that ladder match. He was the leader. There's no one even came close to him, really. But they walked away and Sting walked away. So I don't really know what to make of this.
I'm not sure I want to see Lance Archer versus Sting, just because I'm not sure if Sting can avoid a massive bump from Lance Archer.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? So, but one thing I do find interesting, and I don't know how many people have caught this. If you remember, if you were on Twitter and stuff, before Sting signed, Lance Archer and Jake the Snake were going at Sting quite a bit. This is before Sting was in AEW.
I don't remember. On Twitter?
Yeah, on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously Lance was a heel at those times as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting. I don't know where they're going to go with this, but...
I hope it's just Lance just kind of wanting more time in the spotlight and not a direct thing with Sting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I really try to avoid Twitter. Because, I came out of the show on Sunday and I was like, I had a blast. And then I go on Twitter and it's like, this is disgusting. It sucked. I was like, oh my God, get out of here. Just like enjoy it. Jeez.
Yeah,
I don't mean to complain, but I'm not going on there anymore. We'll move on the card. Interesting developments with QT Marshall. At Revolution, we saw him turn his back and leave Dustin Rhodes in the ring. Hell yeah, let's get a Dustin QT match going for a pay-per-view, make them beat the crap out of each other because we know Dustin can go. But he was kind of promoting Lee Johnson. He doesn't want to answer anything about what happened with Dustin. He wants to promote the Nightmare Factory's own Lee Johnson. And he had a match with the Ethan Page of the North from Impact Wrestling, All Ego. And it was his singles debut. Now, he cut a promo, and I've heard that Ethan Page is very good on the microphone. Unfortunately, I couldn't hear any of this. Yes. I don't know if you guys had this in England, but there were some audio issues. And what it was like looked like the NBA All-Star Games audio got meshed with AEW's, and you were hearing like defense. And it really made the match unwatchable.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened for us. I think people that were watching it on like Fight TV, they never had the audio.
They didn't have it, yeah.
Obviously, it was a TNT thing. Yeah, Ethan Page. Now, I know he's one to watch, and I'll give him time to see if he beds in with me. Right now, I'm not sold. Right now, I think that position could have been filled, but with someone probably a bit more interesting, only because Ethan Page, in terms of character, is kind of close to MJF.
He's also missing something without Josh Alexander.
Yes, possibly. Yeah, that's a good point.
And people like Josh is stuck in Impact. Like, no, he's not. He's really doing well in Impact. Like, honestly, I kind of agree with you. Everyone was like the North. I was never sold on the North. I don't think that they're a top 5 tag team, but I don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers here. I was disappointed when he was the surprise entrant. I don't even care about him. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, right now I don't care.
No.
I hope he, brings me round. But like I said, I think right now, just in terms of look, gimmick, it is borderline like a foundation level MJF.
Yeah,
And
basic.
MJF is killing it right now. So
Oh my
I
God.
don't know how he's gonna differ. Even like his in-ring style is kind of like what MJF does. MJF isn't complete thrills or anything like that, so he doesn't even have much to offer in that department, different to MJF. So it's going to be interesting to see what the general consensus is and how everyone takes to him. But I'm not sold on him just yet.
Me either. And this match was, I mean, it was nothing special. He hit a couple cool moves. Lee Johnson, I thought was maybe a little bit more impressive. I really like Lee Johnson. He hit the Ego's Edge, which is a release powerbomb at the end to get the victory, which is kind of a cool move, but it looks similar to Lance's. So Ethan got the win and continued to beat up Lee Johnson afterwards until Dustin had to come in and break it up. And then we saw QT walk off, didn't back up Lee Johnson. He just went off. So looks like QT does not really want to be in the Nightmare Factory anymore. Family, whatever that's called.
I think he's feeling unappreciated. I'm looking forward to him versus Lee Johnson, him versus Dustin. I'm just looking forward to it because QT is probably one of my favorite parts of that Nightmare family.
I love that guy, dude.
Yeah, he's very good at what he does. Yeah,
for sure. And I don't know if you remember this, but we talked about this on like maybe the first or second episode when Lee Johnson got his first win on Dynamite. He thanked everybody except QT Marshall. Seeds have been planted for this for a while. So we are going to see, hopefully, Lee Johnson, maybe QT, or Dustin Rhodes in a match.
That'd be good.
Mm-hmm. What did you think about Hangman's new purchases with Matt Hardy's Q1 earnings?
I loved it. However, I don't know if this was on purpose or not. I'm taking it you've seen Being the Elite for this week. And obviously he said that, I think he said in Being the Elite that he's bought a lawnmower, but he said he had donated the rest of the money. And then obviously, the Dark Order guy said, well, they bought him this, that, and the other, and that there should be no money left. So right now, Adam Page should be in debt. But obviously on Dynamite, he said he bought the lawnmower and this and that before he donated the rest. So I don't know if the stories quite match up, but
why didn't they mention that part? I wondered that too. I was like, where's all the money? I thought they all spent it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I'll let it go. Whatever. I thought it was really cool. Obviously, Silver coming along, and have you got space on here? And they all just jumped on. Apart from Five, what are you doing? Like he's got a weight limit. And then when they take off, they nearly all fall over off the lawnmower. I thought it's a really good segment. These guys like need their own sitcom. Like they're just hilarious.
They're so funny, dude. And this week on BTE, they were going like, Anna Jay can't be replaced. She's the best. She's the best. And Maki Ito comes in, and they're all like, yeah.
They literally forgot about her in a second.
Was it a Brody entrance a couple months ago where they had like lawnmowers out everywhere? Yeah. Okay. So Hangman loves the lawnmowers, and it looks like he bought the Dark Order ice cream last night. So congrats to Adam Page on his newfound income, if it's still there. Exactly. Another one of the segments of the night, we had like three. Tony Schiavone was supposedly trying to talk to Christian Cage here. It was supposed to be Christian's first appearance on the microphone in AEW to tell us why he signed with All Elite Wrestling. That didn't happen because the cheerleaders came out, then the Retro Prelude, Kenny Omega, the Good Brothers, and Don Callis come out, and they want to address the crowd. They said that we're not going to get to hear from Christian. Kenny is the king of the death match, and he said everything went according to plan. He said that the explosion didn't go off because they didn't want us to have an epic moment. They wanted to take that away from the fans. And they're happy that Moxley's big moment and Eddie's heroic sacrifice was squashed, and they looked like fools in the ring. And Kenny and the Good Brothers and Gallows and Callis look awesome. They went with this full force, the whole heel idea. And there was some funny segments We're not going to mention that here. We'll keep it PG, so go watch that. But Eddie Kingston came out and got in their face. Don Callis said, "You know what, Eddie? You know the reason I fired you from Impact Wrestling is because you have the potential to be a star. And right when you are about to pull the trigger on being a star, you mess it up and you screw it up." Kenny gets in his face and says, "Hit me, buddy. Come on, you won't do it." And Eddie does hit him. So they start beating on Eddie, wailing on him until Christian Cage comes out to kind of break it up. Was going to hit him with his finisher. Do you remember what his finisher is called?
Unprettier.
Okay. It's like I don't know. There's a lot of people who do it though, right?
Yeah, it's like
Juice Robinson does it too.
Doesn't Switchblade do it?
Switchblade does a Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, yeah.
Which is like kind of a crossroads. But he tried to do his finisher on Kenny, and Don Callis pulled Kenny out of the ring. So whose allegiance is Christian Cage on? Who is he here for? Did you notice the ending segment with what he did inside the ring?
Yep, he lifted the AEW World Championship. A lot of people are saying that, he deserves it. He's a Hall of Fame worthy, blah, blah, blah. Look, we often complain about the legends, so to speak, coming back and being put in these massive positions. We don't necessarily mind if they come back and have a big program with a big star in the middle of a card on a big pay-per-view. But the minute they start challenging for titles, that splits opinion.
I was a little bit disappointed with this because we have the perfect setup right now for Christian Cage, Moxley, and Kingston versus the Good Brothers and Kenny. That'd be an awesome 6-man for his first pay-per-view match or his first big match.
I think we'll get it. AEW will do one of their TV specials, and I think we will get that. I think Christian is going to challenge for the championship. I just hope it's on TV. I don't want this to be, I don't, no, let me rephrase that. I don't want him to challenge for the championship. I think he will challenge for the championship, but I think it should be on TV. I don't want this to be Kenny Omega's Double or Nothing match.
But it would be pretty good. You don't think? You don't think Christian could put out a 5-star match with Kenny?
5-star. If Christian gets a 5-star match in his career, it's definitely because of Kenny Omega. Okay,
that's fair. I mean, listen, when Christian came out at Revolution, I was kind of disappointed. I thought it would be Kurt Angle. I was really looking forward to seeing him. I did like a joke guess and said, it would be cool if AJ came, but that's definitely not going to happen. So I thought it'd be Kurt, or I didn't really think it was going to be CM Punk. I really thought it would be Kurt. Yeah. I kind of forgot though how much I like Christian and how much
I like Christian. I don't love Christian. I like Christian. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't mind seeing Christian as long as he's in the right place in the card. He's doing the right things, putting the right guys over, and I'm sure he's not here to win the AEW championship. I don't need to be told that.
Well, we don't know why he's here. We never got to.
He's here to put guys over. I think we're gonna hear it. That's what he's here for. TNT have given AEW a second show. They're gonna need more guys, and that's what he's here for. That's it.
Yeah, and I watched the WWE Royal Rumble interview beforehand with Edge and Christian, and he said that he didn't want people's last impression of him to be being injured in the ring. He wants to continue to put on some good matches to finish off his career. So I think that's why he's here, and I think that we're definitely going to get those matches. I wish him the best, and I am happy he's here. So. That's all I have to say. But great segment from Kenny, Good Bros, and Callis. Really kind of extended the Kingston Moxley promo. So I think they really remedied the slight thing that went wrong with Revolution. So, more cool storylines that came out of this botch.
Yeah, I mean, it was what it was. And like I said earlier, they've made a joke about it now that, it was meant to be. So... Mm-hmm. Let's just move on. Just move on from this whole explosion thing.
All right, we had Britt Baker, Maki Ito, and Nyla Rose take on Thunder Rosa, Ryo Mizunami, not Riho, and Shida. This was a 6-woman tag team match, which I really liked. A lot of people I saw online were upset about this because of the comedy, but I think one of the funniest moments in Dynamite history happened during this match when Maki came out and was singing her song. She had headphones on, so she couldn't really tell what was going on. So she's singing her song going, and then everybody's attacking each other in the ring. She doesn't know what's going on. And then Sheeta comes up to kind of like warn her, and she pops her in the head with the microphone. Dude, I was on the floor. It was so funny.
No, it was good. And you know what? Let me correct you. She definitely knew what was going on because she's got eyes. She could see that, everything had broken out. She just didn't care. She just said, I'm going to finish my song first. I don't care about what you guys are doing. And the minute, obviously, she had finished her song is when Sheeta came over, and that's when she got her in the head. So, really good stuff to start the match from.
Let me ask you this. Are you joining the Maki Ito army, or are you not fully on board yet?
I was on board the minute she was announced for the women's tournament, because I haven't seen a lot of her matches, but the stuff I have seen from her, I said, yeah, sign her. And I knew, obviously, because of her storyline, she is kind of a perennial loser. So I could see a lot of people online saying, oh, yeah, Maki Ito should win the tournament. And I was saying to myself, yeah, so you guys don't really know what she's about, because she doesn't really win matches. She is there to lose and do the comedy stuff. But what was really good that AEW, a lot of people were disappointed when she went out in the first round of the women's tournament, but they obviously still brought her back for Revolution, which was even a bigger stage, if you like.
That was awesome. That was cooler than her debut at Revolution was cooler than Ethan Page's. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 100%.
I was more hyped to see Maki Ito.
We could see that watching. We could see that watching it. So, the crowd took to that way better. So, it's good that she's kind of at least got herself in the door somewhat. Obviously, I don't think anything official has happened, but
she's here. So
she's here for now. Yeah.
Yep. And this was a pretty good match. There were some awesome spots. Really, the person that shined in this was Thunder Rosa. Did you see that Cancun tornado drop on the outside of the ring, which was something I expected JR not to really like, but he didn't say anything. But Maki Ito hit a tornado DDT on Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa hit a disgusting spike pile driver, another time bomb pile driver, and pinned Maki Ito. So the winners of the match are Thunder Rosa, Ryo Mizunami, and Sheeta. And after the match, the heel team continued to attack them. But speaking of women's matches, it has been announced for next week's St. Patrick's Day Slam, which is a special edition of Dynamite. Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker are main eventing the show.
Really well deserved. And you don't want to give away these main events to women just for no reason, just for the sake of having them. You want it to be an important match, an important feud, and this is the most important feud that's been happening in the women's division for months now. So lights out match, dangerous stuff.
I'm really glad
to see what Britt Baker's got up her sleeve, but I think it's about time that Thunder Rosa gets her revenge on Britt Baker.
Yeah, hoping for a Thunder Rosa win. What did you think about this TNT Championship match with Scorpio Sky and Darby Allin?
The match was good.
Yeah, it was match was good.
The match was good.
A lot of mat wrestling.
Yeah, and you know what? I think we were saying as well in our group that Darby Allin is a good mat wrestler. I think he's often just given this kind of hardcore, exterior,
Daredevil,
like let him go out there and do the Daredevil, Jeff Hardy styled stuff. But this guy can actually wrestle. Him and Scorpio Sky put on a really good match. And as I was watching this match, I began to kind of say to myself, I understand why Scorpio Sky is where he is.
Why?
I think he's good, but there is no X factor about him, so to speak, or we definitely haven't seen it yet. Like even as simple as early on in the match, Darby Allin hurt his ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Scorpio didn't work the ankle till after he had lost. Did you realize that?
That was a little weird.
Yeah, he's visibly injured there. Unless you were still a face then. And once you turned heel, you worked on the ankle, but it's it makes sense. Like, why wouldn't you just work the ankle? he got rolled up eventually and lost, turned heel after the loss, and seems pretty proud of himself. But I think this is the way that he could lose with pride, and this is exactly what should have happened when he lost to Cody.
Yeah, to get rolled up.
Yeah, if he's gonna lose to Cody, then he should attack Cody after the bell. If he's gonna lose to Darby, he attacked Darby after the bell, and that's how you keep some heat. I'm just looking at this comment here from MK. He said, "I've been saying this for a while now about Scorpio Sky. This is why I was never big on him winning the TNT title." Yeah, like he is definitely missing something.
He is missing something.
Yeah. It's a shame, but I mean, it is what it is, man.
I mean, it was a solid contest. There were some cool moves. Darby ended up getting the roll-up victory. So Scorpio's guy didn't go out really clean, and there was some kind of a heel turn at the end. It was a cool segment, good match. I gave it like 4 stars, solid. I'm getting kind of warming up a little bit more to Darby. I think he's been doing pretty well in the last few weeks, so I'm going to give him that. I agree with NK. I'd rather see Spears take the TNT championship, and that leads us into the final segment of the night, which is crazy. I mean, the Inner Circle War Council, this main evented the card. Really, it wasn't a match, but it was a segment between Jericho, MJF, Proud and Powerful, Hager, and they came out to address what was going wrong with their group. And when this came out, I was like, why is this the main event? Boy, was I stupidly wrong about why this was the main event. Jericho, he wanted to do some changes with the Inner Circle. Maybe add a new member, maybe get a new outlook. MJF disagreed, said that maybe we need to take out a member. Sammy Guevara comes out and the crowd goes wild, comes out of the face tunnel, and he says, "Chris, I want you to look at this. Please pay attention." Chris goes, "You're dead to me. I want you out of here." But Sammy sticks around. He plays his video on the screen, and it is MJF getting recorded via hidden camera, telling Santana, Ortiz, and Hager that it's time that they turn on Jericho tonight, and MJF's going to become the true leader of the Inner Circle. So when that happens, MJF kind of says, "Get him," to Santana, Ortiz, and Hager. They turn around and start to walk towards Jericho, looking to attack him. Then all of a sudden, right when it's about to happen, and we're all at it, like, oh my God, is this really going to happen? This is crazy. They turned around on MJF, and Jericho calls him a stupid idiot, that they all talk, and how could you think that this was going to work out? And now he's going to receive an Inner Circle beatdown.
Bro, when MJF was about to talk, and then Jericho just took to the mic and he said, "Shut up, you stupid son of a bitch." I died.
Loved it.
I had to pause it, and I was rolling on the floor laughing. No word of a lie.
Yeah.
Like, it was just such a great one-liner. And then, like you said, Jericho went on to say that, you think that we don't talk, you think we didn't see this coming, this, that, and the other. And they had at this point more or less cornered MJF. MJF groveling, begging, "Oh no, don't attack me, please, just listen to me, hear me out. I never wanted to take over the Inner Circle. I didn't want your group. I've been making my own." And then obviously the lights go out.
Yep. And the lights go out, and we're like, who the hell's gonna come? I really had no idea who he was talking about. This came out of absolute left field. Lights came back on, and it's FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler, Sean Spears, Tully Blanchard, and Wardlow in the ring. So this is their new faction, and they laid a beat down on everybody. Dude, Sean Spears, this is why I said it, like, he is back to being the chairman, and you always say that Spears, when he hit Cody with the chair, that really invigorated him. Well, I hope this is the time that he's fully invigorated and driven up, 100%. Because he wrecked Sammy Guevara with the chair hard. He did not hold back. Cash and Dax Harwood, they did a double pile driver with Tully on Santana and Ortiz, and MJF just destroyed Jericho. He hit him in the face with the Dynamite Diamond Ring, which split him open. And then Wardlow threw Jericho off the stage through tables. Jericho was bleeding and begging Max to stop, and he didn't. He also hit him with Floyd, the bat, like hard. He absolutely laid a beating into this. And then after Wardlow did that, we kind of got this shot of all of them standing on the entrance ramp. And wow, is this the Four Horsemen?
I don't want them to be called anything like Four Horsemen. Let them just find a whole new name and stuff like that. Plus, there's more than 4 of them. But
that's the question I had for you.
Go on.
Is it Max, FTR, that's 3, and Spears, which make 4, and then Tully and Wardlow are the enforcers, or is it everybody's in the group?
Yeah, I mean, it can be posed that way. MJF as the lead man, Sean Spears as the middle man, and then you got the tag team in FTR. Wardlow is obviously MJF's hired gun anyway, and then Tully could be like the manager for the group. But I think just stay away from the Horseman thing. I think
people are gonna get, this isn't the same. It was better back then. Like, yeah, exactly. This could be a new stable, and I don't think Wardlow should be stuck in a bodyguard position forever.
Exactly, and that's where he will be if they start giving it, numbers, especially about 4 Horsemen. So they looked good, they looked powerful. I loved the aesthetic. They were all dressed in black, whether that was meant on purpose or not. I was thinking maybe, do you think they should have just kept Sean Spears, as in kind of not bring him on TV last week and kept him for this segment?
Yeah, that would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, because that would have been a bit more surprising. I see Luke Montz. Thanks for joining us live, bro. He said, so he's Inner Circle face now. I would assume so.
Yeah, and Sammy's back in the Inner Circle, it seems like.
Yeah,
which I didn't see coming.
Yeah, I think this is earlier than I would have saw coming. And then obviously we thought what was coming was that MJF was going to take over this group, but completely swerved us all. Looking forward to it. I know people have complained about the amount of factions and stuff like that in AEW.
Oh, come on. But, look at New Japan.
Yeah, people are complaining, but for me, I've always loved factions.
I like factions. Yeah, you got to be part of one, or you got to be like an independent guy. I think New Japan does it right. But dude, another thing, Impact Wrestling, Sammy Guevara went there and it failed. So, another thing happened where it didn't go quite according to plan, like the exploding ring death match. And look what happened. What did we get out of it? Sammy's back in the Inner Circle.
Yeah.
AEW knows how to fix things, I think.
Yeah, that's I'll give them that, definitely. If they do kind of run themselves into a corner or do something incorrect, they are very good at finding, they got good problem solving skills.
Yeah, it's a different path to go down. But yeah, that was Dynamite, guys. Solid show. If you didn't watch it, then definitely go check it out. What do you feel about answering some of these questions that we got from the fans?
Cool. Yeah, let's go through them. Thanks everyone for dropping us your questions. If you want to submit a question to be read on the show, please follow Kings Road Wrestling and make sure you put it in his stories when he puts up the thread for questions for the show. And we'll start with They Call Me Luke 34. He said, damn, MJF really fooled Jericho. Do you think this will be the blood and guts match now? 100%.
Yeah, we got a couple. We got this. We got the potential for a women's blood and guts, like War Games type match with all of them, and the Christian, Gallows, Anderson, Moxley, and all those guys. So I think that blood and guts is not going to be the Elite versus the Inner Circle anymore.
I think that's long gone. I think it should be the Inner Circle versus this MJF group.
Or Bullet Club v Bullet Club. There's a lot of potential for this eventual show, but I just hope they kind of wait. Doesn't have to be in New Jersey, even though I'd like it to be in New Jersey. But I'd like them to do it on tour instead of Daily's Place, because it's getting a little stale, a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we're probably still a couple months away from that anyway. So
yeah, summer maybe.
We'll see. Yeah. Wrestle in Peace. He said best Dynamite show after winter is coming. For me, this is definitely up there. It was a really good show. I don't think best. I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago we had a fantastic show before the Revolution.
Yeah, that was insane.
I think 2 weeks before that we had a fantastic show as well. But this was really good coming out of Revolution, a pay-per-view, and kind of setting up new angles and stuff. So yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah, one of the top in the pandemic era for sure. Like, we're just not going to compare it to what it used to be. But for to wrestle in peace, my favorite one was Beach Break night 2 when the Forbidden Door was open. I like that one.
Okay, cool. We got Ice Cold IG. The Four Horsemen Second Coming is about to take over. What do you think? What do you think's the ceiling for this group of MJFs?
I don't think that it's going to happen immediately, but I could see MJF with the championship, FTR with the tag belts, and Spears with the TNT championship.
I would love to see that, but that
That'd
definitely
be cool.
isn't happening for at least 2 years.
2 years.
I think so, because obviously, like, who's gonna take the title off Kenny? It's got to be Hangman, right? So,
or like Okada.
Well, maybe, but then that means MJF has to beat Okada.
Okay, the only one I think that's better than Kenny is Moxley or Okada or Hangman. Those are the only 3 people I think are on Kenny's level.
Yeah, so we'll have to.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I don't think that's anything that's not gonna happen immediately. I'm a Fat Mark Weekly. Kenny versus Christian, Mox and Eddie versus Good Brothers at Double or Nothing. Well, it looks like Mox and Eddie versus Good Brothers is happening next week.
How about we get those Impact tag belts on the line?
I wouldn't mind.
How cool would that be if Eddie finally got some gold with his long lost drinking buddy?
And imagine, obviously, given the promo, it's the Impact tag titles. The fact he was sacked from Impact.
Now he runs it.
Yeah, now he wins their belt. So yeah, that would be really good. The Elite Daily, he said people are sleeping on Cody versus Penta El Zero. Yep.
Yeah, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be really good.
Yeah,
that's all I can say.
I'm interested to see, the fact that the match is next week. I'm interested to see if this long term. Is this going to go on beyond the next week? But yeah, really, really interested to see how that's going to go. Peyton Privitera, will Jericho's Inner Circle versus MJF's new stable lead to a blood and guts match? Yeah, I think we said before that most likely. Yeah. Hunter sacrifices Longhorns, I think that says. Do you think that they are going with Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega?
Maybe, possibly. But again, like we both said, we don't really necessarily have to see that. I think Christian could do some other things. Did you notice his so when the theme song went off on Revolution, did you know who it was?
I knew it was his TNA theme tune.
Yeah, dude, they totally remixed his TNA theme, which is a great song. It's an Evanescence song, but I thought that was really cool that he's using his TNA theme. I really thought, I know this is kind of off topic, but I really thought we were going to hear the Angles TNA theme, which is such a good song. Yeah.
Well, I guess
the wrestling machine.
You thought it was going to be Angles, so. Yeah, the minute Angle put out that little clip he did on social media, I said, yeah, it's not him. It's not gonna
well, maybe. I mean, he's obviously wanting to go back in the ring, so that's not completely out of the question. There's not a limit on what they could do, who they could sign. It doesn't have to be at a pay-per-view. So maybe Kurt Angle's coming soon. So don't fret, everyone.
Last but not least, on here on the chat, on the comments, sorry. I'm a Fat Mark Weekly. Where does this Inner Circle versus the Horseman lead? I think Blood and Guts. Oh yeah, so we've answered that I think 3 times already.
Yeah, everybody wants Blood and Guts.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that because I'm sure they're going to make that better than the War Games matches, which is, I guess, the closest comparison that we get over in NXT. Just going to read through some of the comments in the chat for those that joined us live. Thank you very much for joining us live. NK says, we need more Spanish promos from Penta. I really like this segment. Likewise, I think it was really good. It was really fun. Christian Camacho. I love Christian for the fact that we share his name. Oh,
the Christians.
Friends.
I don't have anybody. I have Michael Elgin, right?
Yeah, that's you, innit? NK. Darby needs more title defenses. Yes, I agree. I was quite embarrassed for AEW when they, when Darby Allin came out, he made his entrance. They have their little thing on the name tag, and it said this is his third defense in 123 days. And I thought, oh,
it's like sounds like Jericho in New Japan. He defended
it
like
Cody was defending that thing every week,
every week, yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't really make for good reading, but yeah, maybe he can pick up on the amount of defenses. NK also goes on to say MJF is one of the best heels in wrestling today, if not the best heel. He is so good at what he does. The man is 24 years old, and this is what you call the future. He's very good. He is, and you know, I think especially being in and around Chris Jericho, he's learning from someone I would call one of the best. In terms of not like that kind of mean out and out heel, but one of the cocky kind of smart, intelligent heel. Like he's really getting himself, you know, into that mold. Luke Mounts goes on to say that Matt and Phoenix match was amazing. It was. FH, thanks for joining us, bro. He said, good enough explanation about the dud explosion, but surprised they let Kenny handle the sound for the Ethan Page match. That's a good one.
That's a good one, yeah.
Christian Camacho, could Maki Ito win the title in the future? I'll bust if she does.
Okay.
Calm down, mate.
I guess it depends on how the fans react to her. If she's over completely, then they're gonna have to do something, right?
Yeah, they might have to. Their hands may be forced, but right now I think she's just here for a good time.
Yeah, maybe in the future we'll get more women and they can do tag titles.
Yep. R-Pit, am I late? Yeah, you are, bro. We've read your question and we're just about to close up here. So
where are you?
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. It's been a really good show today. Like we said at the top of the show, if you want to hear a first-hand experience of somebody that was there in Daly's place, that somebody is Mike, aka Kings Road Wrestling. He was there at Revolution. He has spoken about the non-explosion on our podcast version, exclusive to the podcast version. So
exclusive.
Exactly. Please make sure that you go and listen to that if you want to hear exactly what happened and the crowd reaction when that happened. Other than that, we should be back on Saturday this weekend with a news update, as we've been doing the news update and you guys have been enjoying those for everything that's going on in the AEW world. Other than that, that's the show. Thanks for joining us. Please remember to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and for our audio listeners, please make sure you subscribe and follow us on your podcast platform of choice, and also hit us with a 5-star review. Mike, any last words before we get out of here?
Just gotta say 4. That's all I gotta say.
Well, there's not 4 of them. There's more than 4, but I
5, 6, yeah. Thanks everybody for coming. Thank you. That's all I gotta say. And I'm pumped for this weekend's Impact show. A lot of ramifications. Kenny Omega is going to take that belt in a month. So a lot of cool wrestling, guys. Stay tuned and thank you.
We'll most likely talk about that on the weekend show. But yeah, guys, one last time, make sure you like and subscribe. Follow Mike, Kings Road Wrestling on Instagram. Follow myself, Mekz, WrestleManiac.uk on Instagram. And we will see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.